Hey everybody, Will here from O'Reilly Auto Parts to show you how to remove and replace the rear strut assemblies on a 2006 Toyota Camry. Procedures will be similar for most Camry models from 2006 to 2011, but be sure to know the specifics for your vehicle before getting started. Once you've got your supplies together, here's what you'll do. Park on a level surface. Chock the front wheels. Use a 21mm socket and breaker bar or lug wrench to loosen the lug nuts on the rear wheels. Then use a jack and jack stands to lift and support the rear end. Remove the lug nuts and the rear wheels. In the back seat, remove the bottom seat cushion by disengaging the metal U-brackets on each side from their plastic trim pieces with a long flathead screwdriver or pry tool. Once the brackets are disengaged, lift up on the front of the seat cushion and pull out on it to remove it. Fold the seats down. Slip the seat belts out of their plastic guide clips. And use a ratchet and 12mm socket with an extension to remove the 4 bolts securing the upper cushion. Pull out on it to remove it. The side cushion of the seat back is held in place by a bolt that will remove. Then lift up on the cushion to free it from the tabs that secure it. Use a 12mm socket and ratchet to loosen the 3 top nuts securing the first strut assembly. Remove 2 of them and leave the 3rd threaded on the stud to keep the strut from dropping when you remove the fasteners at the bottom. In the wheel well, locate the sway bar link. Then use a 14mm wrench to secure the stud and a 14mm socket and ratchet to remove the nut. Remove the sway bar link from the strut. You may not be able to fully remove it until the other components have been loosened. Use a 12mm socket and ratchet to remove the bolt securing the brake line to its bracket, and separate the brake line from the bracket. Remove the bolt securing the ABS sensor harness using your ratchet and 10mm socket. Now use a 19mm wrench and 19mm socket and ratchet to loosen the nuts on the bottom 2 bolts securing the strut. Remove the bolts using a hammer and punch if needed. Separate the knuckle from the strut assembly. Lifting up on the strut from the bottom, remove the nut from the top stud. Then carefully lower the strut out of the wheel well. Compare your replacement strut assembly with the old one to make sure you have the right part. We're replacing the struts on this Camry with complete strut assemblies from Master Pro, which come fully assembled with a new strut, spring, bellows, and mount. Installing complete strut assemblies makes strut replacement much easier and safer, and restores OE handling. A complete strut assembly does not require the strut spring or any other parts to be removed once the old strut is out of the vehicle. Here's how you'll install your new strut assembly. Remove the nuts from the top studs of your new strut. Install the strut so that the top studs are showing above the tower, and thread its nuts on by hand to hold it in place. Insert the knuckle into the new strut and thread the bolts, starting with the bottom bolt. Use a hammer and punch to tap the bolt into place if necessary. You may need to use a pry bar to change the angle of the knuckle enough to align the holes for the top bolt. Once you've inserted the bolt, tap it into place as well if needed. Thread the nuts onto those bolts. Tighten the nuts with your ratchet and 19mm socket. Then use your torque wrench to tighten those nuts to 133 foot-pounds, using your 19mm wrench to secure the bolts. Use your ratchet and 12mm socket to reattach the brake hose to its bracket. Reattach the ABS sensor harness with your 10mm socket. Install the sway bar link into the strut and install the nut. Use your 14mm wrench to secure the stud and torque the nut to 29 foot-pounds. Tighten the nuts at the top of the strut tower with your 12mm socket and ratchet, though in our case, the new nuts were 13mm. Then torque those nuts to 29 foot-pounds. Repeat these steps on the other side. Now you can reinstall the seat, starting with the side cushion. Slide it into place over the tabs and reinstall the bolt at the bottom. Now lift the fold-down portion of the rear seat into place and install the 2 bolts on each cushion to secure it using your 12mm socket and extension. Use your torque wrench to tighten those bolts to 13 foot-pounds. Slip the seat belt back through the plastic retainer and fold the seat back up into the locking position. Reinstall the bottom seat cushion, making sure the seat belt buckles are visible through the gaps in the seat where they should be. Tilt the front of the seat cushion up and push it into place under the seat back. Once the 2 U-brackets on the bottom of the seat are aligned with their slots, push the seat down to snap those brackets into their slots. Pull up on the seat on both sides to make sure it's secure. Reinstall the wheels. And use your 21mm socket and ratchet or lug wrench to tighten the lug nuts until they're flush with the rotors. Lower the rear end of the car and remove the wheel chocks. Torque the lug nuts in a star pattern to 76 foot-pounds. And that's it. You'll find everything you need for this and other jobs at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com. If you're not completely comfortable doing this yourself, we'd be happy to recommend a professional technician in your area. And be sure to subscribe so you'll see all our new video content. We'll see you again soon.